Alrighty. So, welcome back, everybody. I hope that you had good breaks over the Christmas, holiday, New Year's season. I have a little snowman on our picture up here. I know we haven't gotten much snow, but I really like the snow, so I'm hopeful. So that's me willing it. I know I went north for Christmas. I have family in South Dakota, and usually we have several feet of snow there, but there was nothing this year, so I was kind of disappointed. So I'm hoping that Kansas pulls through for us and we maybe have some late snow. Anybody else do something fun over the holidays? Any big travel time with family?
I had influenza.
I, yeah, that is, I think it's still going around a lot.
It is. We have a lot in our school right now.
Yeah. I, my family has lots of kids, and so at my Christmas in South Dakota, there were 13 children, and the oldest was
Oh,
8.
wow.
The rest of them were pretty much toddlers, and they all did a very great job of sharing a virus. And so all the grown-ups, when we got back, we were talking, and we all got sick after the trip together, but it was still good. So I hope if anybody is feeling under the weather that passes soon. I know it's hanging around for quite a few. So, alrighty. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm excited. I have a couple people hopping on for just a couple minutes to speak about events that they are wanting to promote. And so excited to have some other people speaking. Um, mm-hmm. Sorry, I just saw reading Janelle's comment.
So fun.
Uh-huh. Okay. So like I said, have just some announcements and things like that going on today. And so we're going to start with shout outs and success stories. Hopefully those are fresh on your mind since we just did those progress reports. And then a couple of advocacy day at the Capitals coming up, school mental health professionals, and then youth mental health. I'm excited to share with you about those. Some other trainings and opportunities coming up that I'll be sharing with you. And then I also have some progress report data that I can share with you. So I'm looking forward to that. And so before we dive in further, I have Linda Buckheister on, and I know she said she might just have a few minutes, so I'm going to hand it over to Linda to introduce herself. She is our new Director of Children's Services, Prevention, and MHIT programs. If you're familiar with Gary Hinault, he retired in December, and so Linda was able to come on board, and so I just wanted you guys to get an opportunity to meet her. So I'll pass it off to Linda.
And I apologize for the baby's head. She's sick, and every time I sit her down, she screams bloody murder. So I'm just gonna let her sleep. And oh, sorry about that. She scared me. Uh, as Cody indicated, I am the new Gary, Director of Youth Services, MHIT, and Prevention. I've been at KDAD since 2018. I've been in several different roles. I was the Children's Program Manager. So I'm well aware of everything that you guys are doing and want to commend you on the job that you do and how important it is for the youth of Kansas. This week, our PRTF waitlist numbers are under 40, which this is the first time since I've been at KDADS. It's been that low. So we are seeing impacts and improvements in children's behavioral health, and the increased need of psychiatric treatment inpatient. So we're really happy to see that and want to thank you for what you do. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Linda. Does anybody have any quick questions or things for Linda?
I'll hang around for a little bit, but probably jump off.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. We're very excited to have Linda. Linda and I were cubicle buddies until she took Gary's spot, and so we get to work very closely together still. Linda is a wealth of knowledge, and so I'm just excited to see what's in store for us in MHIT as she's coming on board. So excited for that. Thank you, Linda. Okay, so just a quick check-in. How are things going? Um, I know we just had a break, and so you guys are kind of getting into the swing of things again at your schools. But maybe as you are going through progress reports, you maybe had some success stories that stood out to you. And so go ahead and use this time if you have a student success story that you want to share, or maybe just something's going well in your school or your partnerships, or you want to shout out to a coworker. Yeah, anybody have any good stuff they want to share with the group?
I had a pleasant surprise as I came back from break. You know, we came back to school on Monday, which is normally the day that in my district I go down to the grade school. And I really just decided it would probably be an admin day for me because I figured the kids would need to kind of get back in the swing of things. But I had 3 of my grade school students all be like, "Where is Mrs. Terry today? She's supposed to come see me." And so it was just
Aw,
nice to feel appreciated. Usually I think, you know, they might dread when the counselor comes, but it was kind of neat to have them want me. So that was fun.
yeah, that's really special. And I love that, like, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 10 times out of 10, that's how your guys' students and kiddos feel about you, but to actually get to hear it from them, that's really sweet.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I'll share. This is a little bit more of like a macro level thing, but we've been working hard to try to get additional school-based therapy entities in our schools, and we are getting much closer to that. We have an MOU almost approved through our legal attorneys and whatnot. So I'm excited to get to try to increase the amount of students that can be receive services at school. And we also got approved for a partnership with um, oh, I'm blanking on the name first. It's an agency that provides prevention to students that struggle with substance use, and they'll provide school-based services for free. And so we got approved for that partnership for them to um, give services at our school. So I'm excited about that potential momentum.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Will those
First
services
call.
be, yeah, okay. Will those services get to start this coming semester, or will you guys get them in place? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll start them in February.
that's so exciting. Yay. Love to see more services happening for our kiddos.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
it's needed.
Yeah. Kitty, I saw you raised your hand. Do you have something you want to share with the group?
Well, yeah, that's very related to that. I work in prevention alongside Cody. So our programs overlap a little, not so much in the everyday world. But yeah, yesterday morning we had the emails that all of our discretionary grants from SAMHSA were immediately terminated as of the day before, which affects substance use prevention work and also suicide prevention work. And so it was quite an outcry across the nation, $2 billion in grants. And then you can check on NPR is probably the best place to look at the stories if you want to follow. But as of an hour ago, that was overturned, and we did receive all of the funding that Congress had agreed upon, earlier. So it's very difficult to follow, but that was huge for us in Kansas. With several of our grants, we would have lost. Also, I would just say there is a funding opportunity that's open. It's called SPF PFS, and it is on the KDAD's website. We're targeting 18 to 20-year-olds with substance use, messaging and events and media and that kind of thing. So if you had an established coalition or something in your community that could take advantage of that, that's going to be a real quick funding cycle and probably not a lot of competition. So if you have the infrastructure in place, it might be a good fit if you know of someone.
Thank you, Kitty. Yeah, that I know we weren't in the office yesterday, and so we were working from home, and I got that info in and was thinking about our prevention team, and so I'm happy to hear that there's some good news amidst all of the craziness. Yeah, Kitty is, like she said, we also work physically close together. We don't overlap all the time, but Kitty has a lot of great resources in prevention, and so if anybody is interested in that SPF PFS info, I can get that from her and share it out to you guys for a funding opportunity. Anything else that anybody wants to share before we move on? Alrighty. Well, thank you all for that. I know it's encouraging to hear stories from other people, just of what's going well, from students saying, hey, we missed you, to getting new partnerships and funding. So I love to hear it all. Thank you guys. Okay, so now our first advocacy day that I want to share about coming up toward the end of February is School Mental Health Advocacy Day, and I have Solomon Moore from Wichita State University on, and I asked him to come and share a little bit more about this event as one of the event coordinators, planners, and so I'm going to hand it off to him to talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah, thank you. I am happy to be here, everyone, and sorry I have my camera off because I was running from one meeting to the next and in the car. So, but we can be flexible. Yeah, School Mental Health Advocacy Day at the Capitol is an annual advocacy event for school-based mental health professionals and services to students that we put on jointly. The Kansas School Counselor Association, which is who I represent, the Kansas School Psychologists Association, the Kansas School Nurse Organization, and the Kansas School Social Worker Association. The four organizations work jointly together to host and facilitate this event. So it's really important for all school-based mental health professionals in our advocacy work for our roles and for school mental health services for students, as you all are very well aware, obviously. And it is on February 24th. Check-in starts at 8:30. The event starts at 9. The morning will go from 9 to 11:15-ish. Then there will be a break for lunch. And then the afternoon is your time to meet with your legislators and committee meetings on your own. So you plan that ahead of time by setting that up with your legislators. Committee meetings are typically around 1:30, but it just depends on which committee you are going to sit in. So that's the setup for the day. We'll have some speakers in the morning in advocacy, and the more people that we have, the more school-based professionals that can show up, the better, because obviously there's strength in numbers in our advocacy work, and it's imperative right now, especially with everything going on that impacts our students and their mental health and their experience at school and belongingness there. So I think that, as you all are super aware, it's really important. So that would be great if anyone can come join us that day in Topeka at the Capitol. And I can send the registration link. Cody, I'm not sure. I can't remember if Tracy sent you that already or not, but if not, I can send you that if you need it for everyone's email. And yeah, I think that's it, unless anybody has any questions or anything for me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do have the registration link, and if you guys did not see that, that was in the email that I sent yesterday, kind of our pre-meeting, and so there should be a flyer and then a registration link for this event, so you can check that out. I did update our email list yesterday, and so if you didn't get that email, please let me know, and I'll make sure you get it. Does anybody have any questions for Solomon before, while he's on? Does anybody have any questions about the event or how to get involved?
I guess I
All right.
do have a quick question.
Yep.
So if we fill out, excuse me, the registration, should we just anticipate like we'd hear something after we do that? Or is that we just kind of register and then we show up on that day?
That's a great question. So we send out usually 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the event, we'll send out some helpful information about parking, close food options for lunch, etc. And so, yes, you will still get some information once we get closer to the date. We try to kind of wait until we have, the majority of people who are planning on attending. And then I just send it to them. I don't, send it to everyone. I just send it to those who have registered. So yeah, that's a great question. You will have more info and resources around 2 to 3 weeks out from the event.
And then somebody commented in the chat, just not sure what would be expected of them in signing up. And so are there like different levels of commitment? Can you come as an observer for a few hours, do all the meetings? What might that look like?
It is 100% up to you. There's no expectation. You when you come in as an attendee, it's just like you're going to a conference or whatever. You are just there to be in attendance and listen to the speakers and the priorities that we talk about, and network with other school mental health professionals during the breaks. But there is no expectation beyond that of you. The afternoon is totally however you want to set it up. If you're setting meetings up with your legislators to talk about, priorities in your work that are important to you ahead of time, that's, highly encouraged, but that's totally up to you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Alrighty, well, thank you so much for your time, Solomon, and sharing more about this event. I know I've attended just one youth mental health advocacy day, and that was such a cool opportunity to be able to meet together with like-minded people, in this case youth, and get to speak to their legislators about things that matter to them. And so this is a great opportunity for all of you to do the same if you're available or desire to be a part of that. So like I said, the registration info and flyer for that was sent in yesterday's email. And so if you didn't receive that, let me know. If you didn't have questions, reach out to me, let me know, and we can get you involved in that.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so our next advocacy day that I just mentioned, Youth Mental Health Advocacy Day on February 10th. So similar structure, but for our youth in Kansas. And so I'm not sure if he's on. Andreas, are you on today? Andreas is our Y-Link coordinator director. And he was going to speak for a few minutes. I'm not seeing him though. Okay. So that's okay, because I've actually been to this one, so I can tell you guys a little bit more about it. So Youth Mental Health Advocacy Day, awesome opportunity, like I said, for youth in your schools. And so this event is put on with Y-Link, Youth Leaders in Kansas. So I know some of you have Y-Link groups in your schools, some of you might not, but you've probably heard about it at least. And so this is a leadership group that students can get involved in, and they receive funding from KDADS as a part of the grant to fund different events that they want to put on that help advocate for mental health in their communities and schools. And so this day, a bunch of our Y-Link groups from across the state come together, and there's some programming in the morning or throughout the day, and then sprinkled in there, the students set up meetings with their legislators, and they get to go speak to them about things that matter to them. And so if you have a Y-Link group, if your school does, that's an easy way to get involved. Or you can come as a volunteer. We're always looking for volunteers. I know a few of you have volunteered in the past. You can come as an observer and just check out the day, see what it's like. Kitty, do you want to share more about that? I know you've been working with Andreas in getting this speaker, and sounds very interesting. Do you want to say anything else about him?
He was at the Kansas Opioids and Prescription Drugs Conference in December. He was a physician, is a physician that practiced in the Lindsborg area, and then for some reason decided to go back into residency for addiction. So he's changing his career and doing this presentation. Right now, Kratom is in gas stations, and it's completely unregulated. It has lots and lots of names. We're asking the youth that are coming in if they'll take a snapshot if they find it in their local community, just so we can kind of get an idea of where all it is. It's, if you're tall enough to reach the counter and you have money, you can buy it. And it's the next fentanyl is kind of how it's being looked at. The addiction people are having a horrible time trying to treat it because it's the upgrade. So anyway, so I think he'll be good for youth. He's maybe 40 years old and very interested in the topic. So I think he'll catch their interest. So.
Okay. Thank you, Kitty. So yeah, he will be part of the programming that happens throughout the day. We'll have speakers, we'll have a panel. And so that is February 10th. Registration starts at 7:30 and it goes till about 4. And we're going to be at the Beacon and the State Capitol building. So the Beacon next door to the Capitol is where the students will be hanging out. We'll have lunch over there. We'll have our speakers over there. And then they'll be able to go over to the Capitol for their meetings. And so we are needing volunteers for that. If you have done this before, it's just great to be involved in, even if you don't have a group necessarily that you're associating with. It's just really fun to see all the students together and be a part of their advocacy. And so there's a few different roles. If you want to be there all day and be involved as a host for a group, that's what I did last year, and it was so fun. I had a group of middle schoolers from Lakewood Middle School in Salina, which is where I'm from, and so that was really fun to get to be with them all day and get to see them speak to their legislators. And so your role in that is just to make sure that they have what they need for the day and really just get them to their meetings. We have slots for serving lunch and registration as well, and all of that info and registration to sign up was sent in yesterday's email as well. So let me know if you have further questions on that. Does anybody have questions on it right now? Okay. Moving on. Some more opportunities and resources that I want to share with you guys. This first one was recently shared with me. I hadn't heard about it before, but it is grandfamiliesrising.org. And so this is a website that has a ton of resources and support for those raising kin and or grandchildren. And so foster adoptive families that are kinship, this has a lot of resources specified toward that population. And so things like mentorship, basic needs being met, treatment options, legal assistance, and more is on that website. Just seems like a really great opportunity. I haven't looked a ton into it, but it kind of looks like it was just developed specifically for these unique needs. And so there are a lot of interesting resources on there. And from what I saw, it's kind of broken down by area. So you can look at what area you're in and what resources are available to you there. And so if anybody, if any of your students are fitting this population, if they are being raised by grandparents or family, then you can check this website out. You can share it out with them. Looks like a really great comprehensive source. And then the next two are trainings provided by the Association for Mental Health Centers of Kansas. The first one is Calm Conversations. And so this is Calm Conversations on Access to Lethal Means. This is a free Zoom training at the end of March, 10 to 11:30 in the morning. And this is going to be a conversation and information on how to recognize and respond to suicide risk. And they're going to have a specific focus on reducing access to lethal means. And so that should be a really interesting conversation. Registration information for this was sent in yesterday's email as well. And so if you didn't get that, let me know. That should be a great opportunity and training resource. And then the other one is ASSIST, Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. And so I'm actually going to have Erica Lysell share about this one because she is one of the trainers for this. And so she's going to have a lot more info to share than I will. And I will say as well, the date and times, location that I sent in yesterday's email, that one is full. And so Erica's going to give us info for the one that is available, and I'll share that registration info with you guys. Yes,
and Sue's on,
yeah.
Sue is on here too. Yay!
Awesome.
So yes, Sue and I are the trainers for the assist class, and she had posted, that Great Bend is full, and Cody had shared that, but we will be having one in Oberlin. April 14th and 15th. And so I'm hopeful. Sue's trying to get a location, and we'll get that all out to everyone when we get that registration going. And then I will be offering one in Concordia this summer. I think it's going to be opened up to OCCK employees first, but if they would open that up to the general public, I can also let Cody know to send something out on that.
Awesome. And then do you have anything like a elevator speech about what they can expect and things to get them excited for that?
Oh, I could go on for an hour about ASSIST. I'm really passionate about the program, and Sue, feel free to jump in if you have anything also, but it's a 2-day course that's basically rooted all in how do we talk about suicide. It is a lot of like we would give scenarios, you guys would get to respond back, like how would we handle things. It's very, very heavy in discussion, not so much book work, but a whole lot of discussion. I love the fact that it integrates video that we refer to for the 2 days. And I think, Sue, another maybe free bonus, like, is lunch going to be included in the Oberlin one? Because sometimes the allure of a lunch will bring people to a training and they can learn something good. But
That's right.
It just really is good hands-on practice on how to handle situations.
Yes, lunch will be included on both days. It's a 2-day workshop, like Erica said. There's also, I'm working on a location in Kansas City. And then we will be offering one in Topeka and probably another down in Southeast Kansas eventually as well. And we will post those. Those are always also posted on our website. and I'll drop that in the chat, as well as different opportunities across the state for assist workshops that might have a fee to them. The ones that Erica and I are talking about are sponsored by the Kansas Suicide Prevention Coalition, and then our association is sponsoring the one in Topeka. So I will put our website on there. There's a training tab where you can find updated dates for QPR, CALM, and some of the other workshops that we do as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica and Sue, for sharing about that. And yeah, when Sue drops that link, that's where you can keep updated on the trainings. The registration for the specific date and location that I sent out yesterday is all full, so don't sign up for that one. I don't think it would let you, but there are a bunch upcoming that you guys will be able to check out if you're interested in those. And yeah, CALM and Assist are both, you can see those on this website and see upcoming trainings as well. Sorry, any other questions about those trainings? And Sue just dropped her email, so thank you for that. You can reach out with any questions to her as well.
Cody, I'm excited about the grand families rising. I hadn't heard of that either. And
Yeah.
at the opioid conferences, there are some states that are using some of their opioid settlement funds to cover the costs of these
Okay.
grandparents. So
Okay.
hopefully that would be a good connection, maybe.
Yeah,
That's
very
That's
interesting.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, like you said, a completely different set of challenges to
Mhm.
kin. So
Yep, absolutely.
great.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited to learn more about that. There's a couple people on our team that I want to reach out to, see if they've done more work with this. So if I find out anything else related to that Grand Families Rising, I'll keep you guys updated with that. But just off the bat, ton of information and resources on that website. Okay, so now some progress report data. So thank you guys so much for working on these. I know end of the semester is always a busy time anyways, and then we ask you guys to submit these reports. And so I am so grateful that you guys were putting in all this hard work throughout the semester and then into these reports. I know it's a lot of data tracking, it's a lot of communication with your partners, and so we are excited to share the mid-year results with you guys. As we've said before, these numbers are more of our practice run. We keep them, but more of our practice run for the end of the school year numbers that will be submitted to legislators. And so these mid-year progress reports just stay with us. And so I'm going to share data as of December 31st. So the very end of the school year is what these numbers are reflecting. And so first note, this time last year, or compared to this time last year, we have 650 additional students that are receiving services through MHIT. And so that's exciting news that we're able to expand to even more students receiving services. And last year was still a lot of students, over, I know over the 7,000 that we're seeing so far this year. So total students served 7,006. And then looking, there's a lot more data that you guys pull together for us, but looking just at our 4 progress tracking factors, we saw about 76% with improved attendance, about 70% of improved externalizing behavior, 67% improved internalizing behavior, and then just over 70% of those students with improved academic performance. And so, like I said, this first semester is kind of our practice run at the end of the school year, but I love seeing these numbers already because that's just a few months time, and that many students were seeing improvements. We're seeing the results of them being able to receive services that they wouldn't otherwise. And so all of these students are ones that have been impacted by all of you in one way or another. And so thank you so much for that. Angie and I always like to say it's way more than just the numbers. I really love the success stories, and I have something for the success stories for next on the next slide. But just know each of these students, you guys know their names, you've met them. And so you guys know their stories and just how you know what improved attendance looks like. You know what those improved externalizing behaviors look like in the classroom. And so all of these are huge successes, and just grateful for all of your hard work. Janelle, that's awesome. Had to graduate out. That is amazing. I know something I hear a lot of social workers, people in this field say is, I wish I could work myself out of a job. And so as you see that in small increments, that is amazing success that students are able to work through the things that they need to work through and no longer need the services. So that's amazing. Sue's question about total all-time number. Since the program began in 2018, I can probably get that number this afternoon. I don't have it right now, but I can look into that and see if we have an all-time number. We have numbers for each school year, but as far as individual students throughout the years, I'll have to see if I can find that number, because that would be interesting.
I think it would be a great piece of data to have when we're testifying on behalf of this, in the hopes to get it into a bill instead of just a proviso this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I'll get with Angie on that, and we'll see if we can find that number. Okay, so I made a fun word cloud to share with you guys. And so this was out of some of the success stories that you guys sent in. And so my favorite part of these progress reports is we ask you guys to share some student successes. Things like somebody graduated out of the program, or somebody's attending school more. And so this really more so captures the heart of the progress reports. And so I wanted to share this with you guys. A few of the things that stood out to me, seen is one of the words on there that sticks out to me. And so people feel seen, people feel included, coping, express, people are able to express themselves. And then those big ones, mental health, services, support. I just love all of these words. You can kind of take a look at those. Yeah, just really good show of the hard work that you guys have been doing, the hard work and the heart work. And so I'm so grateful for you guys. The numbers are awesome, but the work that you're doing with students every day, I can't say it enough. It really does have huge value. This is life-saving work that is happening. And you guys, whether that's connecting them with services or you guys opening your doors and having conversations with these students, this is really valuable work. We're very grateful for everything that you do. So great job. Angie wanted me to mention, just make sure throughout the rest of the school year, you guys are keeping the data portal updated with your information, and let us know if you ever have any difficulties. We'd love to help you work through that in getting information uploaded into the portal. If you have any questions on how to navigate it, just let us know at any time. Okay, any questions that you either didn't get to ask without the presentation, or just general questions you have for me or anybody else who spoke today that's still on? Any questions?
I would ask one. This is my first meeting. So are any of you involved in a community coalition of substance abuse prevention coalition that's community-based also? Or do you have them in your community? Okay, good. Because we're trying to get the word out too and spread, the community side of it. So you need more support.
Yeah, so if you are involved in those committees and you're interested in some of the things that Kitty mentioned and want to hear more resources from her, let me know. Or maybe how to get a coalition started. Yeah, and so let me know. I can get you connected with Kitty.
We have funding every year for that to start a coalition. And so it could come from the school. But I know you guys are already overloaded a lot of times, so maybe go on to the community side and see what support can be built, and there's funding for a part-time community mobilizer. So.
Awesome. And Taylor, I just saw your comment. If I'm remembering correctly, you're at El Saline, right? Yes, yeah, that's where I graduated high school. So small community, very near and dear to my heart. I'm not sure of any coalitions, but I know a couple people still involved with their kiddos in school there, and so I might be able to ask around and find out. Nothing's jumping out at me right now, though. Kitty, would you want to just drop your email if anybody's interested in getting more resources for their coalition or getting them started? Thank you. Awesome. Alrighty. So I have a typo on this. See you next Thursday at 2 for open office hours, 2 to 3. And so if you haven't attended that before, that is a chance for those who either aren't able to make this meeting regularly. I'll do a quick recap. Or those who attend and just want more time for open discussion questions. This is the time for that. And so that's every fourth Thursday from 2 to 3. So we'll see you then. And then side note, for those of you who do not know, I am expecting my first baby at the end of next month. So very exciting, but I wanted to share that because this might be my last connections meeting with you guys for the rest of the school year, depending on when baby comes and maternity leave, things like that. And so just wanted to share that with you guys. I'll be around until the end of February, of course, and be communicating, but just in case I'm not on next month's meeting, just wanted to let you all know. Thank you guys so much. Okay, any other questions, comments, things you want to share before we sign off? Thank you guys so much. We're very excited. Alrighty, well, that is all that I have for you today. We went through a lot of information and resources. You should be able to refer back to all of this in the pre-meeting email that I sent out yesterday. Again, if you didn't get that or have questions on anything, let me know. Refer back to the chat. Had a couple people share resources and their email addresses in here for more info. And yeah, have a good rest of your guys' week.